This is the story of the legend of Sleepy Hollow, written by Washington Irving in 1839. Not far from the city of New York, along the Hudson River, there is a little valley, which is one of the quietest places in the whole world. This little town has long been known by the name of Sleepy Hollow. A mysterious, spooky atmosphere seems to hang over the village. Many people believe that the place was haunted by spirits and ghosts. The dominant spirit, however, that haunts this region is the apparition of a man on horseback without a head, known as the Headless Horseman. The ghost, people said, was a British soldier whose head was shot off, and he rode a horse at night looking for his head. Ichabod Crane was the school teacher in Sleepy Hollow. He wanted to marry a beautiful young girl named Katrina Van Tassel from a rich family there. But so did a young, strong, handsome man called Bram Bones. One night, Ichabod went to a party at the home of the Van Tassels. Bram Bones was there too. After the party, Ichabod left looking unhappy following a talk with Katrina. On his way home, Ichabod was chased by the Headless Horseman. He made his old horse go as fast as it could, and he finally made it cross the bridge by the church. He thought he was safe then, but when he turned to look back, he saw the horseman throw his flaming head at him. It hit him in the face, and he fainted. The next day, there was no sign of Ichabod. Only a broken pumpkin near the bridge, and his horse in a field. Ichabod was never seen again, and Bram Bones and Katrina were married. Every time anyone told the story of Ichabod Crane and the Headless Horseman, Bram Bones would just smile strangely and then laugh at the part about the pumpkin.
This is the most famous story of a headless horseman and a schoolmaster. Born in 1783 in New York City, Washington Irving made his professional debut writing for a New York newspaper under a pen name. After completing his first book, he worked as an editor and found worldwide success with a collection of essays and short stories. Irving also wrote historical pieces and biographies. He died in 1859. Number 8. Settings and Era. The legend of Sleepy Hollow is set in New York in the Tarrytown settlement in 1790. The main action takes place in an isolated, long, and deep valley called Sleepy Hollow. This area, also known as a glen, gained notoriety because a ghost called the Headless Horseman supposedly haunts it.
The horseman was a Hessian mercenary, sent to these shores by German princes to keep Americans under the yoke of England.
Irving used several real locations in Sleepy Hollow for the story. One is the old Dutch church and churchyard. the second oldest church structure in New York that broke ground in 1685 and was completed in 1697. The construction was done by Frederick Phillips. Another place is the famous bridge that crosses the Pocantico River that the Headless Horseman chased Ichabod to. Though the original is long gone, and contrary to popular belief, it was not a covered bridge. Today, there is a replica of the bridge in Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, and there's also an official Headless Horseman bridge, though neither are in the exact spot. Sleepy Hollow is a village in Westchester County, New York, on the eastern shore of the Hudson River. Originally known as North Carytown, the original settlers here were Dutch farmers and traders that came here around 1640 and were part of the New Netherlands colony. Sleepy Hollow earned fame in 1820 thanks to Washington Irving, who was an American author who was born in New York City on April 3rd, 1783, and died in Tarrytown, New York on November 28, 1859.
Number 6. Ichabod Crane.
The worthy pedagogue was described as a most unusual man.
Ichabod Crane is a tall, skinny, and superstitious schoolmaster from Connecticut. While he's fascinated by scary tales, his strong belief in them actually makes him afraid of them. Though he wants her to like him as well, Crane wants to marry Katrina more for her father's money than out of actual love for her.
Oh, Katrina, my sweet, my treasure. Treasure. That barn's a gold mine.
Because of his greed, anger, and fear, Ichabod is an unlikable character and essentially the story's anti-hero. Number 5. Number 5. Abraham Brom Bones Van Brunt. Brom Bones is Ichabod's main rival for Katrina's affections. He's the opposite of Crane, with his strong, tough, and manly ways. He's a very good horseback rider and has many friends. He knows Crane is easily rattled, so he likes to play pranks, which causes further tension. While we're never definitively told what happens to Crane after his encounter with the Headless Horseman, the short story suggests Brom may have been the so-called ghost. Number 4. Katrina and Baltus Van Tassel. The 18-year-old Katrina is the only child of Baltus Van Tassel. Because of her father's riches, both Ichabod and Brom want to marry her. Not much is known about her, except that she's good-looking, knows how to dress, and can use men to get what she wants. Meanwhile, her father Baltus is a joyous and loving man who is happy with the wealth his farm has provided him.
A simple farmer who has prospered. The town looks to me as friend and counsel.
And landlord and banker.
Number Number 7. Plot.
The best-known story, however, concerns a certain itinerant schoolmaster who once frequented these parts.
The narrator of Irving's short story is a man named Diedrich Knickerbocker, who claims he's retelling the tale of a man from Manhattan. From his third-person objective point of view, we learn the legend of Ichabod Crane. This schoolmaster wants to marry a young woman named Katrina Van Tassel. However, so does the town hero, Abraham Brombones Van Brunt.
There was no doubt that Ichabod was the man of the hour. Brom knew that he must concede his rival still another victory.
Following an unsuccessful proposal attempt, Crane makes his way home from the harvest party.
Once inside the murky glen, Ichabod's anxiety increased 100-fold. For now, the forest seemed to close in behind him.
Already anxious from having passed several spots that are supposedly haunted, Crane meets a giant but silent cloaked horseman. He becomes afraid when he sees what he thinks is the horseman's head on his saddle. While Crane tries to escape, the horseman throws the head at the schoolmaster that night. Crane is never seen or heard from again, though his clothes, his horse, and a smashed pumpkin remain.
But there was no trace of the schoolmaster.
Short story explores many different themes, like the pursuit of wealth and how greed and gluttony can get the best of people. It touches upon the nature of truth, what it's like to be an outsider, and the relationships between man versus nature and man versus the supernatural. Number 2.